Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, Learning and Education. Today we're going to do passage number 12. So let's start with the translation of it. Now, as we all know, passages starting from 11 up to 15, they all are passages which talk about God's relationship with the messengers. This one is about God's relationship with Ibrahim alayhi salam. And the translation of this passage goes like this. So also did we show Abraham means Ibrahim alayhi salam, the power and laws of the heavens and the earth, so that he might have certainty. Certainty, basically, whatever is basically mentioned over here is um, uh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed Ibrahim alayhi salam all the celestial bodies, all those heavenly bodies, to actually find out the truth about his real Lord, and to be sure about that, to have certainty about that. When the night covered him over, he saw a star. He said, "This is my Lord." But when it set, he said, "I do not love things that set." Um, when he saw the moon rising in splendor, he said, "This is my Lord." But when the moon set, he said, "Unless my Lord guides me, I will surely be among those who go astray." Who go astray means that the ones who are not on the right path. So what he is basically trying to say over here is, since he is observing different celestial bodies, but whenever he used to observe a body, a celestial body, it appears and then it disappears. So basically, what he tried to do is over here is he tried to find out the real Lord. So and that's why he said, unless and until my Almighty Allah, my Lord, guides me, I won't be able to get to the right path. When he saw the sun rising in splendor, he said, "This is my Lord, this is the greatest." But when the sun set, he said, "O my people." Now, try and understand over here. The people in which Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam was born were the people who used to worship idols, who used to worship these celestial bodies, the heavenly bodies like the sun, moon, stars. So over here, after observing all those heavenly bodies, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam addressed his people among whom he used to live. "O my people, I am indeed free from your giving partners to Allah. For me, I have set my face firmly and truly towards Him who created the heavens and the earth, and never shall I give partners to Allah." So over here, he explicitly has mentioned, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam has mentioned that he is free from any kind of shirk. Shirk is basically setting partners with Allah, saying that someone else has the authority like Allah. That is shirk, which is the only unpardonable sin in the sight of Allah. If you think about the importance of this passage, you must remember a believer should always refute shirk, should always condemn shirk, should always reject shirk. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in the Holy Quran that Allah forgives not that if someone sets partners with Him. And worshiping idols, worshiping any other thing besides Allah, or claiming someone else having any authority like Allah is shirk. Okay, and that is the only unpardonable sin in the sight of Allah. All right, so that's basically about the translation and its meanings. Let's go ahead and read out the theme and importance of this passage. Theme of this passage, as I mentioned earlier on, is God's relationship with His messenger. This passage talks about the spiritual enlightenment of Ibrahim alayhi salam in his quest of finding his real Lord. So, how he was spiritually enlightened while he was observing different celestial bodies. He alayhi salam was born among the people who were idolaters, basically people who used to worship idols, like I mentioned earlier. People who used to worship these heavenly bodies, these celestial bodies like sun, moon, stars. Ibrahim alayhi salam observed closely the system of the world and found out that all the heavenly bodies are bound to time and space and have no authority of their own. So all these bodies, and what we mean, what we try to say, what we're trying to say over here is, by saying that all these bodies are bound to time and space, is basically what what the main focus is on the fact that all these heavenly bodies have certain limitations. They, like the sun, the moon, they have certain timings when they rise and when they set. So that's why we say that they are bound to time and space. And obviously, since they go according to a specific plan, so they don't have any authority of their own. They don't have any authority like Almighty Allah, because Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is the one who is controlling the whole universe. So sun, moon, and stars work according to the plan of one supreme being, that is Almighty Allah, who is the controller of the whole universe and is alone worthy of worship. So all these bodies, these heavenly bodies, they are not worthy of worship. Why? Because they don't have any power. They're not God. They don't have any power like Almighty Allah. So the one who has created them, the one who is the controller of these heavenly bodies, is the only only being, is Almighty Allah, who is the only one worthy of worship. Now, verse of throne, Ayatul Kursi mentions this in this way: Allah, there is no God but He. And as mentioned elsewhere in the Quran, adore not the sun and the moon, but adore Allah who created them, if it is Him you wish to serve. So adore or worship the Creator, not the creation. That is the main theme of this passage. Now, Ibrahim alayhi salam, and in his effort to learn the truth, never committed shirk. Let's read out the importance of it. Talking about the importance of this passage, we must understand that Allah is the creator and Lord who has created such enormous heavenly bodies which reflect His magnanimity. A believer must admire Allah for creating such huge bodies, and a believer must admit Allah's greatness, His greatness, by saying Allahu Akbar, Allah is the greatest. Now, looking at the sky, one must glorify the name of Allah who has made all these beings subject to humans' benefit. Why? Because sun, moon, and stars are different sources which are made for the benefit of the people on earth. Um, Now, a believer should pay gratitude. Gratitude means thankfulness towards Allah for bestowing him with all these blessings, without which it would have been almost impossible to live. One should never believe in the power of these celestial bodies, because all the power is with Almighty Allah. The Quran says it in this way: He has power to dispose of all affairs. So it means that Allah has the power to dispose of all affairs. So whatever is happening, whatever the way sun and moon and stars, the way they are appearing and disappearing, the way the whole system of the whole universe is working, it's all planned by Almighty Allah. And Allah is the one who is taking care of all the affairs of this universe. That's why it is mentioned He has the power to dispose of all affairs. A believer must refute shirk. Refute means rejecting something, refute shirk. Shirk and setting partners with Allah is a similar thing. So a believer must refute shirk or setting partners with Allah. Why? Because it is the only unpardonable. Unpardonable means unforgivable, that Allah does not forgive this sin. And that's why it is the only unpardonable sin in the sight of Allah. The Holy Quran says that Allah forgives not that partners should be set up with Him. Believe in Allah as the ultimate power and authority will make a believer brave, and he would never bow down to any worldly power. And finally, Tawheed is the common message brought by all the messengers of Allah. So one must have a firm faith in Tawheed. All right, so that's pretty much all about this passage, theme and importance. I hope all of you are now quite well versed with the theme and importance of, of this passage. If you got any questions regarding this passage or any of the previous passages that we've done so far in our syllabus, please feel free to put up your queries in the comments. I'm gonna be uploading the theme and importance of the passage number 14 and 15 pretty soon. Till then, take care of yourself and goodbye.